Hey Geminis, welcome to my channel, Intuitive Tarot Empath. I'm Robin. This is your general reading for July 2018. For those of you that are sun sign Geminis that were born in the last half of May or the beginning of June, happy birthday to all of you Geminis. I hope you're enjoying your birthday month. So as you can see, I already shuffled the cards and laid them out. I had started filming this video, but then I started like mumbling over my words and sounded really bad, so I'm just going to post. I figured I'm going to stop that. These are the same cards from before, so I'm just going to continue with the reading, but sound less ridiculous. So this is your general reading for July 2018. I know I already said that. If you want more information about the energy surrounding you throughout the month of July, you can check out the videos for your sun, moon, and or rising sign. So what I'm going to say about this particular reading as I'm looking at it, you have the High Priestess in your present position. You have the King of Pentacles that's crossing you. In the past, you have Temperance, and you have the Seven of Swords. In the advice position, you have the Seven of Wands. In the future position, you have the Four of Swords. Surrounding you is the Death card. That's not bad. I love the Death card. It's a card of Scorpio. We'll get into what that means. It's not bad at all. Never bad. The Eight of Wands in your environment. The Four of Pentacles in the Hope and Fears position. And the Six of Cups in your outcome position. So before anybody messages me and tells me that I've laid the cards out wrong, this is how I do it. I feel like the beauty of tarot is that it is interpretive and specific to everyone. So that's the way I'm going to do it. On the bottom of the deck is the Hanged Man. So from this reading, I know it's a general reading, but I get a very like worky vibe from this. So I think that a lot of you Geminis have had to deal with somebody, you've been waiting for something to happen, and now you're in a period of time where you're no longer waiting. There's a lot of letting go. There's a lot of releasing bad energy or old energy. There's a lot of like releasing old thoughts that no longer serve you anymore. There were people in your life who were trying to get away with something, but you figured them out. So let's get into all of this. So the reason why I say that there was a period of you waiting, but you're not waiting anymore is because you have the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man in reverse, though. So the Hanged Man in reverse says that you're no longer waiting for the outcome of something to come to fruition. You've maybe made the moves to better yourself, to move something forward. You know, I don't really get that there was necessarily a big decision to make, unless the big decision to make was to stay or to go. I feel like that is an energy surrounding you, like, should I stay in this job or should I leave? I'm getting the distinct impression that there was like somebody at work who was doing kind of shady things, or if this is a relationship reading for some of you, you know, somebody in a relationship who you felt was doing shady things, and now it's you making the decision to move forward, or to just make a decision at all, like you're no longer waiting. The Ace of Swords in reverse, I'm reading the Ace of Swords in reverse as a new opportunity that was a long time coming, but it felt like it took a while to get here. Like you were waiting for this to happen, and now all of a sudden it is, but it took a lot of conflict on your part. So we're also getting a lot of swords, and swords are air signs. You're an air sign, you're a Gemini. So here's this new opportunity being ushered in. Swords are also about communication, they're about writing, they're about thinking. So I think that here's this new opportunity that's maybe made it possible for you to finally make the leap into this new life that you want for yourself. But it feels like it took a while to get here. Aces in reverse are just as good as aces upright. I think that you've been dealing with a lot of turmoil. The people around you might have been causing you conflict. Like I said, if this is a work thing, it could be a boss, it could be your coworkers. If this is a relationship, it could be, you know, your love interest. It could be the people around you saying like, do you have any idea what this person is doing? And maybe you choosing to keep a blind eye to the goings on and that causing a conflict. But now you're at a point where you are ready to open up. It's the end. This is the end of something so that something new can come to fruition. You're over it. You're done with it. The stress of it has killed whatever patience you've had left to entertain it. And now here's you welcoming whatever's to come in the future, especially because if you lay the card down, the Queen of Swords is pointing in the direction of the future. So you are ready with a clear mind and clear communication, clear ability to communicate, welcoming in what's coming, these new opportunities. And I feel like that's you because it's swords, and swords are air signs. So, my loves, my Geminis, what we have here is the High Priestess. High Priestess. I'm sorry I can't talk this morning. So what we have here is the High Priestess, but the High Priestess is in reverse. So I have a feeling that there are some of you that have been sitting in an uncomfortable situation, and you intuitively knew that this situation was bad for you, but you kept it going anyway. The blind eye, I want to say. That's the feeling that I get from this. Knowing secrets, the High Priestess can sometimes be the secret keeper. She's the psychic, she's the intuit, she senses that something bad is going on, or she senses that something is going on. She can sense other people's energy, but I have a feeling that the world, the universe, especially because this is a 2, the world, the universe, and whatnot were sending you messages that maybe you did not want to receive, because you did not want to hear them. Because if you're in a relationship and you're with a person that you love so much, obviously you don't want to see them at their worst. But if you are, it's the same way that if you're at a job where you like most of the pieces and parts, or you rely on that income, the thought of leaving it because someone's trying to get away with something is scary. It's frightening. So what you have crossing you is the King of Pentacles. So I think this is the person who's kind of doing you dirty, so to speak. So this, this could be a boss. This could be a partner. This could be a coworker. But somebody who is maybe alphaing or posturing or making themselves seem better than they actually are to the people around them, or trying to get away with something. There's just this feeling of here's this person who's trying to get away with you. I think that you have been trying to maintain your balance. So here's the Temperance card. The Temperance card is all about balance. You can see and you trying to keep your emotional balance. You can see that the angel is pouring water from one cup to another. So I want to say that the cups and the water under her feet are, emotions, just as, cups and tarot are about water signs, or about emotions, or about, all the things connected with that. And I think that you've been working really hard to maintain your balance. And I think that you were even successful with that. So I think in the past, feeling good, feeling balanced, feeling, emotionally connected, things going in the right direction. And then somebody who you are in a relationship with, whether that's a friendship, because 7s in astrology are about your friends and enemies. They're about the people who you have contracts with. So this could be a person that you're married to. This could be a person that you're on the job with. All the things, all the ways that contracts bind us to one another in friendships and, otherwise. So I feel like there's someone who is getting away with something, and it took you a while to realize it. I think that you knew the whole time. So whether it was somebody at work who was speaking poorly of you, or who was being underhanded, or a boss who wasn't giving you the things that you were asking for, who was maybe throwing you under the bus without your knowledge, or a partner in a relationship who, this could sometimes be the card of cheating, but this is all in the past. This is stuff that is coming to light now, or that I feel like you felt it. You felt it for a long time. You knew that something wasn't right. You knew that this person was a little bit shady, but you loved them so much, or respected them so much, or didn't want to rock the boat so much, that you kind of let it, you kind of let it play out to see where it was going to go, because there was this feeling of, when we're in those situations, maybe it'll stop. Maybe it won't continue. Maybe, maybe this will end and nobody has to get hurt. So in the advice position, we have the Seven of Wands. And the man in the Seven of Wands is working really hard to get onto that rock, to move above the difficulties that he or she is facing. Looks like a man, so I'm just going to go with dude on a rock. But he's worked really hard to climb above it all. So even if you feel as though you're not out of the woods yet, that you're still dealing with the fallout of whatever the situation is, whether it means, you have to leave the relationship and find a new partner at some point when you're ready, or if you're leaving a job and now you have to find a new one, this is saying don't lose your footing, don't lose your faith. Even though it's hard right now, keep moving forward, because you'll be happy that you didn't stand still and wallow. So, and that rising above it is coming. It's just that, like I said, even though you finally made the decision to move forward with whatever your situation is, it still feels like it's taking so much time. And remember, on the days that I've had that I've thought, oh my God, this is terrible, time only moves forward. It doesn't move backwards. So just keep moving forward with it. In the future position, we have you coming out of a moment of respite. So this is you in meditation. I feel like some of you have really had to take some time to process mentally what's been going on in your lives. So maybe for some of you, 4 is the card of, 4 is generally a home in astrology. So, maybe a lot of you have been staying home, have been a little less social than you normally would be. Not getting out and about because you needed some time to really think about, what am I going to do next? What's my next step? What's my decision? Where am I going to go? But I want to say that July really sees you finally coming out of your shell, getting out of the house and back into the world again. So whether that means putting out your resume if you haven't already done so, or putting yourself out there with friends if you haven't been doing that recently, or putting yourself out there in the hopes of finding a new relationship. This is kind of like you just putting yourself out there and seeing what comes back, but not necessarily expecting anything from it, just kind of taking the first steps to put yourself out there. So what you probably have been feeling you've been surrounded by recently is change, tons and tons of change. So I don't think that this is an actual death. It could be that the thing that you felt as though someone got away with was a death, because sometimes death can feel very, like, oh, why did that person get taken from me? All of the things that we feel when we're grieving and when we feel, maybe as though the universe got away with something that we weren't expecting or ready for or wanted to happen. But I think more likely from a majority of the people who are watching this is just being surrounded by change. And the Death card meaning that, and this mirrors the 10 of Swords, which came up at the very beginning of the reading when we were looking at the cards on the bottom of the deck. You'll notice that even though this is a death, there's a sun rising in the background. So even though it's the end of one moment in your life, it's the beginning of something new and better. It's something that you need to happen. It's something that's going to help you grow. So this is a major change that you're going through. But it's not bad at all. In your environment, especially when you start getting out more, and maybe this is how it'll feel. So like the Death card will maybe be what it feels like at the beginning of July, when you're finally getting yourself out there again, you're putting yourself out there, and it's just like, wow, I'm different and people are treating me different, and you're starting to see what a huge difference making the steps forward have made in your life. What we have here is the Eight of Wands. So I feel like sometimes these are the arrows of love coming to you unexpectedly. This is communication coming to you unexpectedly. So maybe it's that you start putting yourself out there again. And if it's in terms of a job, it's like you start hearing job offers back. and they're kind of flooding in and they're coming out of nowhere. Or maybe you posted your resume to like an Indeed.com or to a headhunter, and then all of a sudden you have all of these offers coming your way seemingly out of nowhere. Maybe you've even put yourself out there and forgotten about it a little bit, and now it's coming back to you in a big, humongous, massive way. This could even be true of love. So like if you put yourself online, or if you started, you know, going out more often with friends, it's like all of a sudden you're going to get this influx of things seemingly coming out of nowhere. You know, interest, communication seemingly coming out of nowhere. It could even be one person or one job. It could be multiple, you know. But whatever it is, it's this change eliciting such a change in you that, you know, I feel like it attracts people and things to you. In the hopes and fears position, what we have is the Four of Pentacles. And in reverse, the Four of Pentacles sees you letting go. I think you're going to let go of a lot of the old emotions, the old belief systems, everything that you were holding on to so tightly in order to keep yourself safe in a relationship that no longer worked for you, or keep yourself safe in a job that no longer served you. I think that the hope and the actuality is that you are going to be letting go of all of those things. This summer, especially this July, like end of June, beginning, you know, all of July, is going to be really huge for you in change, letting go of the things that I know I keep repeating myself, and that's why these videos end up being like half an hour long. But I just want to reiterate the fact that this is a huge like cleaning house for you, for in astrology, home, letting go, cleaning house, cleaning your mental house, your heart house, making yourself lighter so that you're ready for what comes next. So that's really great for this. It's letting go of all those things that don't serve you. So actually, the fact that you got out of that job, you got out of that relationship, really is going to benefit you. It's going to make you lighter. What we have in the outcome position is the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups is generally the like nostalgia, soulmatey, like otherworldly, I've known you before connection. So I don't care that this card is in reverse. To me, this card means the same thing upright as it does in reverse, because to me the energy of it reads as positive, as kind, as lovely. So sixes in astrology are about our daily routines, and so something is coming into your life. It's going to shake up your daily routine, and you're going to have a super amazing connection to it. So this is a job that's going to be emotionally fulfilling to you. This is a relationship that's going to be emotionally fulfilling to you. This is going to be one of those things where you say to yourself, if it's a person, you know, I feel like I've known you my whole life. You know, I'm so glad that you're a part of it now. I can't believe that I allowed anything less to come into my life. And if this is a job, it's I should have been doing this all along. This is my soul's calling kind of thing. You know, just a feeling that you have done this before, or even if this is not necessarily the job that you stick with for the rest of your life, that this is something that gets you on the path to where it is you want to be. But there's a major connection with it, as though you've done it before, you know it so well, you should have been doing it the whole time. Just a really beautiful connection to the person or the work that you're doing. And I think, like I said, with the Ace of Swords in reverse, I think the only reason why it's in reverse is because it hasn't gotten there yet. I feel like the Six of Cups feeling is going to come sometime in July, especially because, I don't know, well, 6 is June. It could even come at the end of June. I feel like timing with tarot is kind of odd in that you can't necessarily predict timing of things, especially if, you know, your free will dictates that you make a different choice that then kind of sets things back or puts things off, or, you know, any of that kind of stuff. So it could be anywhere from the end of June to the end of July, especially because cups are water signs, so we're coming into Cancer season. Woo woo, my Cancer people. But from this card, I get a lot of flourishing. So it's kind of like, the middle of summer when everything's at its height and all of that kind of stuff. So let's see. I want to pick 3 cards for that 6 of Cups to clarify and just see what's up with that. Alright. Just give me one more second. Oh, there's one. Alright, so we have the Fox. Harkens back to that person in the past. The one who was getting away with stuff. So I think that the Fox in this instance is saying it could be like a warning of beware of people who are sly as foxes. It could be saying beware of the person who has done you wrong in the past. I was just looking at the, because that person will cause you conflict. And I think it's also saying that be sly or slick in how you go about achieving what you want, but not in a necessarily negative or conflict-laden kind of way. All right, what are the other cards for this? I need 2 more. Whoop. All right, so, okay. So, if there was any part of you that felt like what you just went through was totally unfair, it was one of those karma things. So karma, just meaning that you didn't do anything bad to deserve it. And this, in fact, is an ending to kind of a karmic debt, so to speak. But it was like, in order for you to level up, in order for us to level up in life, sometimes lessons come into our lives in order to help us level up, so to speak, in the game. So this was one of those things. And also, what's coming next for you is also karmic, but I feel like you're coming into a much more positive phase. So see, what we have here are these 2 cards, the Fox and the Dog. I don't know that they could be more different. So the Fox is... Sorry. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. I really need to get a new camera. This is really bad. All right, so the Fox is about someone who is sly, someone who is slick, versus the Dog, who is someone who is loyal, man's best friend. They don't call him that for nothing, but someone who is passionate, kind, loyal, genuine, gentle. It's interesting because both of these, so the Fox is a 5. So I feel like for some of you, the situation that could play out is before you completely move on, and the universe loves to play this trick on all of us, it's that before you move on, the universe says, are you sure you're ready to move on? Remember how happy we were? Remember this situation? Are you sure you want to move on? So the boss could come back and say, are you sure you want to leave? Or the ex could come back and say, but remember the happier times? And this might create some internal conflict for you, which is why the 6 of Cups will be slow to come. Because here's this other opportunity, the better opportunity, the happier opportunity, the also karmic, but moving in the better direction opportunity. And so... that Fox might give you pause again and make you sit still and make you think and wonder, but here's the other opportunity, anxiously, or rather, I mean, he doesn't look very anxious, he looks pretty chill, just, waiting for you to decide that that's what you want. Go with the opportunity that feels better. Learn from the past. That past opportunity is always going to be who they're going to be. Ooh. Sorry. Sorry, I had to go get my other cards. That that person from your past, you know, whether it's work or relationships, they're no good for you. You know that. I was talking to my friends the other day. We were walking home after our end of year party, and two people that we work with who had been in a relationship maybe more than 10 years ago had been talking all night. And they're both married now to other people. And the one person said to the other, whenever you're ready, we can take it to the next level. And I was like, this person is just absolute proof that people like that, people who are insecure, people who have always been kind of, you know, what can I get away with people? And this is going to sound terrible, but change is difficult. And sometimes we fall back on old behaviors. And sometimes there are people in our lives who turn us back into the people we were before we changed. And what this whole reading is saying is don't go backwards. Keep moving up. Don't let things from your past make you fall backward. Because you're moving in such a positive direction. You have such good things coming your way. Don't let that person or that situation be the thing that holds you back. Because you are changing. Okay, so here. So the final card is the Four of Abundance. This one is the one that fell out of the deck. So on the bottom of the card it says, it's time to reflect upon your relationship with money. Are you spending it too freely or are you holding it onto it too tightly? Okay, well, this can also relate to how you give of yourself to others. Is your heart open or are you holding back? Your hard work and wise investments will bring great success. So this, the Four of Abundance, is essentially this, the Four of Pentacles. So this idea of, are you holding on too tightly to emotions that you associate with a thing from your past? Because that person or that situation showed you that whatever you guys had, I'm sorry for using the word guys, but whatever you and that person, that job, that coworker, that boss had before the bad thing came out, that lives somewhere else now. That lives in the past. So that's where you kind of have to, enjoy it, remember it for what it was, but don't live there. It doesn't exist anymore. And they showed you that. And that's true of all of us having to move forward. And it's hard. Moving forward is hard, especially when you love something so much or someone so much or a situation so much and it makes you feel some way that you've never felt before. Sometimes we want to hold on to the feeling, but there are other ways to do that. So from the book, Le Book. This card asks you to pause and reflect on your relationship with money. Are you spending it too freely or are you tucking it away a bit too frugally when it might be used to bring you joy? It's important to look at your financial health in a balanced way to be prepared for the future, but not to the extent that you're not living life to its fullest in the here and now. This is true whether your resources are related to money, energy, or emotion. So you can also ask yourself, am I giving of myself emotionally too freely or am I holding back too much? It's very important to be charitable to worthy organizations as well as to individuals in need. Consider volunteering your time or money to causes that you feel strongly about. Additional meanings of this card: wise investing, worrying about money, good business judgment, being too controlling, hard work that pays off. So I think that you're coming into a really good time, Geminis. I think that you're coming into a time when all the changes that you've had to make emotionally, mentally, maybe even physically in your lives are about to come to fruition. So enjoy all of it because it's going to be a really awesome July. So if I didn't say it once, I'll say it again. Happy birthday to all you late May, early June Geminis. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are interested in getting a personal reading with me, I'm going to leave the link, or the website rather, for where you can purchase a private reading in the, what is that? The bio section, the about me section. I'm going to leave it in the description box and under the comment section, whatever. God, can you tell I'm a little rusty at this? It's been a while. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are interested in, like I said at the beginning, the energies that surround you for the month of July, more energies than just your sun sign, check out your moon or rising signs. Yes. Gemini, thank you so much for sticking with me. You are my maiden voyage back into the world of YouTube. Again, a million happy birthdays. I hope you enjoy your month, and I will see you guys in July for your August video. Bye.